So I'm going to be talking about what your notebook should look like. Here are the things I recommend. I recommend you use a composition book because if you use a book like this, the wire can get caught in your backpack and it can come undone, and then what I end up seeing is that the wire part of this is half out of the actual notebook and it's starting to become unbound. That doesn't take long to happen. These get messed up fast, so I recommend using a composition book or using one of these folders that are 3-prong. I got this for 50% off, 14 cents, literally 7 cents. They have these prongs right here so you can put as much paper as you want inside, and this can keep everything together. So I recommend either using these little notebooks or a composition book, because again, these end up getting broken and unraveled. For this example, I am going to show you how to get your notebook set up with this cute little Hogwarts notebook. So to start, I am going to go on the very first page of my notebook. I am going to go on the very first page of my notebook, and this is going to be my table of contents. Now, on my table of contents, what I should see is the title, table of contents. So I'm just gonna write table of contents, and then I am going to write my name. And the reason I'm saying this is because so many times I have gotten notebooks with no name anywhere in it. So make sure on your table of contents, you write your name. You have your name, you don't need a page number yet, it says table of contents, and then you are going to have a spot for a page and a spot for your title. Now, this is not going to be fancy. Notice I'm not even bothering to get a ruler. It doesn't need to be perfect. Well, all I need is a spot for page and a spot for title, and that's it. And then as you fill in your notebook, whatever is on page 1 of your notebook, the title's gonna go right here. So, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna turn to the back and you're gonna do the same thing with page and title. So I'm gonna write page, I'm gonna write title, I'm gonna draw a line. Again, doesn't need to be perfect, it really doesn't. I'm not even using a ruler. I have a spot for the page number, I have a spot for the title, and for any notes I wanna write to myself over here. Another thing you can do in your table of contents, if you have sticky notes, which many of my students do, is if you have a test coming up and you're worried you may forget it, just use a sticky note as a reminder to yourself. Put it on the first page in your notebook, wherever you have space on the side, because a lot of my students do end up having room over here, and use your sticky notes to remind you of whatever you need. Test coming up, write yourself a note to study for it, or whatever else you need reminders for. So the first two pages, I'm gonna leave blank for my table of contents. So my second page is just blank, and that's fine. The reason is because as we go on through the year, you're gonna run out of room and you're gonna need to have a spot to add to your table of contents. This is the neatest way to do it. The first 2 pages of any notebook you start always needs to be the table of contents. The next thing I am going to do is I am going to take my pencil and write the page numbers on every single page of my notebook. I'm gonna do it now because I know on my notebook check, I'm gonna get points specifically for writing page numbers on every page, so you know and I know how to find everything. Now, page numbers will maybe write take you, I don't know, 3 minutes to write. So take time now, pause this video, and put page numbers on every page. I don't care where you write it. Some students like writing at the top, some students like writing at the bottom. Doesn't matter where you write it. Write your number, circle it, and do it on every single page, front and back. So I am going to write my page numbers. So I've started my page numbers. I am going to write on the back because otherwise I'm wasting paper. So I am just going to go through my whole notebook and I am going to write a page number on every single page. And again, I'm doing this because it makes it way easier to find things later on when you want to go back and find your notes for the notebook check or use your notes because we are reviewing something and you want to check out your notes to help you. So you're going to go through every single page and you're going to number it. The next thing I would recommend you do is take a Post-it note. On your Post-it note, you are going to write, bell work. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it kind of in the back of my notebook. And I am going to put it right here. And so I have my bell work just sticking out, and I'm going to use a piece of tape to make sure it doesn't accidentally fall out. Now, when you do your bell work, what I expect you to do is write the date and whatever the bell work is. So you have your bell work here. You're going to write the date and your response. So if you want, what you can do is just create another T-chart for your bell work. Have date on one side, have your response on the other side, and you can just do this on every bell work page. Some students write only one bell work per page, and that wastes paper. So what I like to do is I'll write the date and I'll do my bell work and I'll draw a line, and for the next day I'll just go on that same page and I'll just keep adding to that one page until I go to the bottom, and then I'll go to my next page and I'll start another bell work page and I'll do my T-chart, date, response, and I'll just keep going. Now, the other section I would recommend you think about adding is a homework section. Now what I'm gonna do, because I have these handy dandy notes, sticky notes that are different colors, I have bell work and that is pink. I'm gonna get a different color for this next one because the next one is going to be homework. And I wanna have a spot to do my homework and I wanna be able to find it easily. Now, I have my notebook, my homework all set up. I'm going to write at the edge of my sticky note, homework. And then I am going to stick it in my notebook. And so now this is what I have. This is my notebook closed, and I can see this pink sticky note coming out is my bell work, so I can instantly turn to that really fast. My yellow sticky note poking out is my tab for homework. And again, I can just find it really fast. And when I'm looking through your notebooks for the notebook checks, it'll be easy for me to check your bell work because it's all in one spot. It'll be easy for me to check your homework because again, it's all in one spot. And you can also do a third sticky note for your SSR, which I will do a different video on. So the only other thing that we are missing in this is your name on the front of the notebook. So you need, so I'm gonna write my name because this is my example, Miss D. So we have our name, we also need the subject right on the front. So write the subject, don't write the word subject. write language arts or write history, depending on what this is. Now, a mistake I see a lot of students make is they have more than one subject in their notebook. And the reason you can't have more than one subject in your notebook is because if your science teacher has notebooks, they also have notebook checks. So many times I've seen students unable to get points for notebook checks because it's already turned in to a different teacher and they have one notebook for both of those subjects. So for example, I had a student with their science notebook and their language arts notebook together. Well, the notebook check for their science notebook was the exact same day as the notebook check for their language arts notebook check. So they were unable to turn in their notebook because they had already turned it into science. Do not have more than one subject for any notebook. All of your teachers will agree with this. So this is how your notebook should look. Your table of contents, again, is the first 2 pages. Sticky notes are a good way to remind yourself of things you need to remember. And then after you set up your table of contents and leave a blank page, you are going to number every single page all the way to the end of the notebook. Really take time to do that because you'll get points on your notebook check for it. The last resource I wanted to show you is my online teacher notebook where you can find things. My online teacher notebook is on MyConnect. So you go to MyConnect, you click our class, so this is language arts. What you're gonna do to find the notebook on our website is you're gonna click notebooks. And then you will see the notebook that I keep up in class. This is what my language arts one looks like. This is what my history language arts book looks like. I click this, I make it full screen, and then I can go and look at whatever page I want to. This page has book reviews from students, and if you click the books, you can preview the book that they recommend. This has instructions for read theory, which we did in class, and then this is my table of contents, which you can see I have my page number, I have my title. And again, the page numbers in my notebook are different because I have different things on every page. Your job for your table of contents is to tell me where I can find everything in your notebook. My job for my table of contents right there is for me to tell you where you can find stuff in my notebook. So you can see page 1 says cheat sheet, and here's a cheat sheet. And also, if you click here, this will take you to the slideshow that I printed the cheat sheet off of. So if you need another one, you can go here and print slide 4. And if anybody wants me to turn that into a PDF, just let me know. So again, and history is right here. And history is the same way. And I have my cheat sheet, history, mystery. So my vocab builder. Speaking of vocab, and one thing that students come to me with is that they lost their flashcards. For history, not for language arts, but for history, we always make flashcards to get ready for our tests, and it's homework. How I recommend you do that is you get your flashcards, you get a butterfly clip like this, and just on the inside of your notebook, just clip your flashcards to your notebook itself, and that way you never lose it. If you want to go one step further, you can get like a sandwich, like a plastic bag, and butterfly clip your index cards inside the bag. But I don't think you need to. I think you just need this butterfly clip and your index cards, and you can clip your flashcards right here and always have it with you in your notebook. So that is how I recommend you get organized for language arts or history. We don't do flashcards in language arts. We only do flashcards for history. But again, one simple little butterfly clip is enough to keep your index cards together. If you have any questions, please let me know. This example will always be in my class for any student to look at whenever they need to.